On CrossroadsToday.com, an active shooter opened fire at Joel Osteen's megachurch on Sunday. We'll tell you who's among the wounded this morning. And from our nation's capital, the Pentagon says Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin is undergoing treatment at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. We'll tell you who Austin has put in command while he's away. Turning now to the UK, King Charles III made his first public appearance following his cancer diagnosis last week. The details on the King's outing and more straight ahead.
And we're a little bit cooler after that cool front came this last weekend, but we're going to warm up a little bit this week before we got a big cold front coming this weekend. We'll take a look at that in the weather coming up.
Well, turns out the Lombardi Trophy not going anywhere. I'll have that coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
And I'm Parker Cox.
And today it's the 12th day of February 2024. Valentine's Day is tomorrow.
Oh, yes it is.
And then Valentine's, of course, is Wednesday. And the time is now 6:31 on our Monday morning. And today it's National Hug Day.
Hug Day, it's a good day.
But you want to be careful, Parker, because there are a lot of COVID cases out there right now.
Oh, yeah. If you're sick with anything, you don't want to go hugging people.
Just do like a very light hug.
Yeah, don't. If you're coughing and you're sick and you know you're sick, don't go.
Maybe skip that kiss on the cheek. Just don't do it.
Don't do all that.
All right, Parker. Well, I hear there's a beautiful sunrise.
Yes, there is a beautiful sunrise. In fact, y'all looking at it right there. Looking at a live look at Victoria right here in the Crossroads Diet. And in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if everywhere right about now is seeing that nice, pretty sunrise because in fact, if you can look and you're looking at it, got some nice clear skies out there. In fact, it might even be a star out there with that sunrise. That's pretty cool. But right now, if you're tuning in, like I said, look at a live look at Victoria. We're still a little bit chilly out there because that cool front came this weekend. Right now, about 46 degrees. But with those winds, a little bit breezy out there, 20 miles an hour, gusting up to 25. You got a wind chill in the 30s right now. So definitely want to bundle up if you're heading outside right now this morning. But looking at weather headlines for the rest of this week, it is going to be cooler, but warming up slowly for the rest of this week until we got a cool front coming, or a cold front later this week, and we'll take a look at that in a second because clouds are going to increase as well, and so are the rain chances before that deep cold front comes on Saturday. Look at that just a second because, like I said, all of us in the mid-40s this morning. Along the coast, y'all are maybe in the low 50s because y'all are right next to that water, but today only getting up to about the low 60s after that cool front, and those winds are kind of sticking around. But those feels like temperatures, those wind chills, and this morning are going to be in the 30s, but catching up with those temperatures by later this afternoon as that sun comes up in the sky. In fact, looking at your winds for today, we're going to be gusting up to about 25, potentially even 30 at some points in the early afternoon, but eventually going to die down going into tonight. As you can see here, finally calming down to this kind of actually light and variable winds tonight. But for the rest of this week, like I said, we've got some slow warming ahead of a deep cold front coming on Saturday. We'll take a look at that in just a few more moments. Back to Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. A water main break closed the intersection of North Ben Wilson Street at East North Street over the weekend. The city has since fixed the issue and the intersection is back open this morning. The closure caused for some delays for those who attended the livestock show events at the community center over the weekend. A child and a man were hurt in a shooting at Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church in Houston on Sunday. Authorities say the child is in critical condition and the man was treated for an injury to his leg. Authorities say a woman entered the church accompanied by a boy believed to be about 5 years old and started shooting. Leaders from the church say that they finished the afternoon service and they were preparing for their next service when the shooting took place. 2 off-duty law enforcement officers present at the church opened fire and the woman was killed. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin is in the hospital. That's from a statement from the Pentagon. A Pentagon spokesperson says the defense secretary was transported to Walter Reed National Military Medical Center on Sunday. Austin transferred the functions and duties of the office to Deputy Defense Secretary Kathleen Hicks, and he has notified the White House and Congress of his condition. His latest hospitalization comes after he underwent a minimally invasive procedure in December for his prostate cancer. A Senate plan for Israel and Ukraine is moving forward after a vote on Big Game Sunday. An earlier version with border provisions couldn't get enough support. Now backers are trying again just with foreign aid.
We are on the precipice of a disaster for Ukraine and for the world.
A $95 billion foreign aid package is closer to a Senate floor vote after clearing a procedural hurdle 67 to 27 yesterday. It would provide national security assistance for Ukraine and Israel and humanitarian help for civilians in Gaza.
Victory is within reach.
Debate over the bill comes as Israel plans a ground offensive in Rafah. That's a city in southern Gaza near the border with Egypt, where more than 1 million people have taken refuge. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu calls it the last bastion of Hamas.
Those who say that under no circumstances should we enter Rafah are basically saying, lose the war.
Netanyahu promises to evacuate civilians from the area, but advocates say they have no place left to go.
I believe the Israelis have the ability to do it, especially with our resupply role that we're going to play.
As for aid to Ukraine, Republican support is wavering. Former President Donald Trump is urging senators to make any foreign aid alone and saying he'd tell NATO allies behind on contributions.
No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay.
Still, senators continue to negotiate amendments for the aid package.
We're going to keep working on this bill until the job is done.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Even if the aid bill passes the Senate, its fate in the House is uncertain. Britain's King Charles III attended church Sunday in his first public outing since his cancer diagnosis. Wearing a brown overcoat and carrying an umbrella, the king waved as he arrived with his wife Camilla at St. Mary Magdalene Church in Sandringham in eastern England. News of his cancer came after 75-year-old Charles spent 3 nights in the hospital last month following a corrective procedure for a benign enlarged prostate. Buckingham Palace has not given any details of his condition other than to say it was not prostate cancer and the king would postpone some engagements to undergo treatment. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:37 on our Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. Empty bowls took place at a different venue this year. We learn more.
I'm ABC's Em Nguyen in Washington. Former President Donald Trump is under fire for remarks he made this weekend revolving around not protecting NATO allies. The latest coming up.
And also coming up after the break, we'll take a look at your school bus forecast, followed by your weather and health forecast. And later on Sunrise, we'll take another look at that cold front that's coming our way this weekend.
A serious challenge prowls many streets across Victoria County. Roaming and stray animals pose a risk to the community, and finding their owners often impossible.
The animals that don't have a voice, that's what we're there for. To help, you know.
So what's being done to ensure the safety of our streets and these lost or abandoned pets? Join me, reporter Lupi Zapata, for Safe Streets, Safe Pets, a 25 News Now Extra, Thursday night at 10.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you're all tuning in with us this morning, look at a live look at Cuero, where it is that sun's starting to come up in the sky. And I know this camera's facing northwest, but if it was facing east, you've got a nice and pretty sunset out there. In fact, all of us seeing that nice, pretty sunset this morning, but as well as seeing a little bit of a chilly morning out there right now, about 45 up there in Cuero, but with the wind chill at 39 because your wind's at about 15 miles an hour out there right now. But if you're sitting there kiddos at the door, you might want to put a jacket on because, like I said, it's a little bit chilly out there and also much more chilly with that breezy wind out there. About 45 as they're heading out the door. But as you're heading back home, it's going to be only about 61 degrees. We're only going to warm up just a little bit after that cool front came through, and also quite windy for the rest of today, but calming down by tonight. But looking at your weather and health forecast, that mountain cedar, the tree pollen, is going to still stay high today with those winds still high, and with it being a nice sunny day today, your UV is going to be a little moderate, so if you have any sensitive skin, you might want to put some sunscreen on. But for the rest of this week, we're going to slowly warm up before that big cold front comes on Saturday. We'll take a look at that in just a few moments. Back to Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Vince Lombardi will stay home another year. Here's sports reporter Zach Brown.
We had quite the game on our hands last night. Let's just go on straight to that second half. It was a very low scoring game. The Chiefs just got done kicking the longest field goal in Super Bowl history at 57 yards from Harrison Butker, and special teams would come through again. The punt bounces off the 49ers' foot, pure luck, but it's better to be lucky than good sometimes, and the Kansas City Chiefs would take the lead on the very next play. And come to find out, that was just the beginning of the madness. The game ended very late. Couldn't quite grab the video that we wanted, but you all saw and watched Mahomes throw the game-winning touchdown with only 3 seconds left in overtime. Back-to-back champs. How about those Chiefs? Well, while they won back-to-back championships, unfortunately, it won't be 3 because I saw the script, and the Houston Texans are taking number 59 next year. With your 25 Sports Now, I'm Zach Brown.
Thank you, Zach. All right, we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And now to the 2024 race for the White House. Former President Donald Trump under fire for saying he would not want to protect NATO allies from future attacks if those countries didn't contribute enough defense spending. Trump adding that he would even encourage Russia to attack those countries. The White House calling those comments unhinged.
President Trump drawing fierce backlash from Democrats and some Republicans after suggesting if he were elected again, the U.S. would not protect NATO countries that aren't spending enough on defense. Trump declaring he would even urge Russia to attack an American ally.
No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay.
President Joe Biden sharply criticizing Trump's words as appalling and dangerous. The White House calling those comments unhinged. The current head of NATO warning that Trump is putting the safety of U.S. troops and their allies at risk. GOP presidential candidate Nikki Haley also condemning Trump, saying his approach to boost defense spending was all wrong.
The last thing we ever want to do is side with Russia.
Haley also questioning Trump's mental competency after Trump questioned her husband's military service, claiming Haley's husband deployed to Africa to get away from her.
If you mock the service of a combat veteran, you don't deserve a driver's license, let alone being president of the United States.
Haley then focused her age-related attacks against both Trump and Biden. As the new poll shows, 86% of Americans think 81-year-old Biden is too old for another term. That includes 59% who believe he and 77-year-old Trump are too old. Haley again called for both Biden and Trump to take a mental acuity test.
Donald Trump claims that he would pass that. Maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't.
Meanwhile, the Senate passed a key test vote on a foreign aid bill that would send assistance to Israel and Ukraine. 18 Republicans helped advance the legislation despite opposition from former President Donald Trump. Em Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We ask you, should the U.S. defend NATO allies who don't meet defense spending guidelines? Okay, let's take a look. 37% of you say yes, and the rest of you say no. We want to keep hearing from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. The annual Empty Bowls event took place yesterday inside the Victoria College Emerging Technology Complex. The goal of the fundraiser is to help those that are less fortunate. The local artists and students made ceramic bowls and donated them to the event. Attendees purchased a bowl for $20, and then you could use that same bowl to get a bowl of soup donated by many local restaurants. Organizers of the fundraiser say that its partnerships are key to its success.
To have local artists working together with charities and all of the restaurants that were involved in the event this year. We couldn't do it without them. Local restaurants provide the soup and the bread, and we couldn't do this event without the local restaurants.
Empty Bowls usually raises about $20,000 each year, and the money goes to Christ Kitchen, BCAM, Food Bank of the Golden Crescent, and JP's Market on the Victoria College campus and Meals on Wheels. The time is now 6:45 on our Monday morning, so become Beyonce made some big news during the big game. Okay, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Samantha. I want to wish my daughter a happy birthday. We love you.
And happy birthday to Mark. We all love you so much. Have a great day today, Mark, Mom, and Dad.
And happy birthday to Peyton. Happy 13th birthday, Pei. We hope you have a fantastic day.
And Arsenio Hall is 68 today. Happy birthday. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com, click on More, and under Home you see KVU to submit your birthday.
All right, the time is now 6:46 on our Monday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today.
Yes, happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I hope you enjoyed all that nice warm weather we had all weekend. Saturday we got to 79, and yesterday we got up to 77. But that's all going to change this week. It's going to slowly warm up after that cool front we just had over this last weekend. That's why it's so windy and a little bit chilly out there right now. That just came off this low. That low is going to slowly push east-northeast out into the Atlantic. But once that low pushes off, we're going to get the high pressure return to the Dixie Valley and to give us that southerly wind, which is going to slowly warm us up for the rest of this week. But coming our way late this week, and we got an upper level low that's going to come out of northern Canada, bringing us a deep pocket of cold air. Now, we don't know exactly the exact temperature we're going to get to yet because that's still a week away, or actually a little less than a week away. But we're going to take a look at the jet stream here. You can probably get a good idea of what it's going to be like just based off this, because we've got that upper level low, like I said, coming out of northeastern Canada and entering southeastern Canada. But right here, once that low reaches right on Friday, you can see where all the wind is being forced in together, so it can't go up, has to go down. So all that cold air coming off the mountains is coming our way this week, and we'll take a look at those temperatures and more in just a few more moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. A federal judge has ordered Elon Musk to testify in the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission's probe concerning his 2022 acquisition of Twitter. The organization is investigating whether Musk or anyone else committed securities fraud in 2022 as the billionaire began buying stock in Twitter. The commission is seeking his testimony on whether he followed the law when filling out the required paperwork about Twitter stock purchases, as well as whether his statements in relation to buying the platform were accurate. Musk's legal team argues that the investigation was frivolous, also saying that the document request as well as demand for testimony again in the face of an investigation arising from tardiness of a clerical filing was troubling government action. Beyoncé made some news during Sunday's big game. She teased the release of new music during a Verizon commercial ad, and then moments later on her official website, she posted a clip of a new song with the guitar strumming to a tune about the game, Texas Hold'em. Then she posted the words Act 2 and the date March 29th on her site. Stay tuned. And still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. 37 people killed due to Israeli strikes on Rafah. At least 37 people were killed due to Israeli strikes on Rafah. The Israeli military said it struck targets, killing at least 37 people. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said it ordered the military to develop a plan to evacuate Rafah and destroy 4 Hamas battalions deployed there. This comes as about 1.4 million Palestinians have fled to escape the fighting from the Israel-Hamas war. Operations in Rafah also included the rescue of 2 Israeli national hostages. That information from an IDF spokesperson. The hostages are being assessed following the rescue. A police officer in New Mexico was killed in the line of duty Sunday after he was stabbed while responding to a call. The Las Cruces Police Department posted this photo of the badge belonging to Officer Jonah Hernandez, who was responding to a trespassing call at the time. The 29-year-old suspect was shot and killed by someone who witnessed the attack. The witness then used the officer's radio to call for help. Hernandez was with the department for 2 years. He leaves behind a wife and 2 sons, ages 10 and 2. After serving District 2 for 12 years, Victoria City Council member Josephine Solis will not seek re-election. Solis mentioned health concerns as a primary reason for her decision. Currently, Stephen Kidder is the only person who filed for the District 2 seat. Mayor Dwayne Crocker's District 3 seat is open with no applicants. The deadline to apply for City Council is February 16th. And speaking of Dwayne Crocker, the new mayor of Victoria will be sworn in at the start of the February 20th City Council meeting. Crocker won the election with 61.4% of the vote, and Jeff Bachnight will continue to serve as mayor until Crocker is sworn in on the 20th. The City Council will canvass the votes on February 13th. So far, 3 people have filed to run for City Council in Victoria. Residents can run for any of the 4 regular City Council seats in District 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 candidates have filed, 1 each for position 1, 2, and 4. Rafael de la Garza III is seeking re-election in District 1. Jan Scott seeking re-election in District 4. And attorney Stephen Kidder has filed to run in District 2. The deadline to file for a place on the ballot is 5 p.m. Friday, February 16th, and the election is set for Saturday, May 4th. Bridget Marshall says she is running for the District 2 VISD board seat. Marshall's the Victoria College Department Chair of Humanities and an English instructor. She says she plans to use her 20 years of education in this role and has lived and worked in Victoria her whole life. In July of 2023, she was appointed District 2 trustee. Victoria County Commissioners meet today at 10 a.m. at the Victoria County Courthouse. They're going to consider approval of the 2024 Website Services Agreement with Texas Associates of Counties. They'll also consider approval of a residential contract between the Victoria Regional Juvenile Justice Center and Fisher, Mitchell, and Millen counties. You can attend the person virtually if you can't go in person. No states mandate active shooter training for police officers. That's according to an analysis by the Texas Tribune, ProPublica, and Frontline PBS. But at least 37 states require such training in schools, typically on a yearly basis. Read this story by the Texas Tribune on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And we do have time for a final check of our forecast. Parker, now is not the time to put that winter sweater away, right?
No, it is not time to put away your winter coat yet because we got a cold front coming our way this weekend. But if y'all tuned in this morning, look at this beautiful sunrise. I'm sorry if I'm blinding y'all. I'm going to put up a graphic here so I'm not blinding you anymore. About 47 degrees out there this morning. A little bit chilly, but also even chillier with winds at about 16, 15 miles an hour, making our wind chills in the low 40s and some in the upper 30s this morning. But all of us starting out in the mid 40s this morning, unless you're along the coast, y'all might be in the low 50s, but only going to warm up just a little bit today into the low 60s this afternoon after that cool front came through our area over this last weekend. But it's going to be a bit of a windy day today, a bit of a breezy day, perhaps, or rather, with those winds gusting up to about 25 miles an hour this afternoon before they finally calm down going into tonight back to those single digits. But for the rest of this week, we're going to slowly warm up with that cloud cover and the rain chances all on the increase before a big cold front coming over the weekend, which we'll have more details on those temperatures and more later this week.
All right, what a beautiful sunrise. Thank you, Parker.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, and thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful start to your week. And remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today, and join Karina, Don, Mac, and Zach today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.